Hello everyone, welcome to Decentralized Future, where we explore the latest advancements in AI, blockchain, and decentralized technologies. Today we have a special guest with us, Alireza Ghods, CEO of NATIX Network. Their platform collects data using existing cameras, protects privacy rights, and creates a dynamic map of the real world for users to collect and consume real-time data. We will talk about what this means in this call and why it is important. With the recent advancements in artificial intelligence, AI, and sensor technology, NATIX Network aims to create one of the largest crowdsourced camera networks, enabling a new era of smart city and smart mobility applications. They have exciting updates and opportunities through their native tokens and NFTs. We will cover all of that in today's show. Before we go there, this episode is also sponsored by NATIX Network. Thank you guys for that. And all the revenue generated from this sponsorship went to Ahbab Foundation Relief Fund for devastating earthquake hit Turkey in February. Our best wishes are with the people who are affected by this terrible disaster. If you want to participate in donation efforts for Earthquake Relief Fund, check the link in the description. You can directly donate to APAP and other relief funds for Turkey. So thank you for this. We've been talking about NETIX for quite a while with you, Alireza. Welcome to the show. How do you feel?
Good, thank you. Hi, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Falkland, for having me on the show. We had a couple of interesting talks before, and we said, why not, recording those talks and putting it for a wider audience. And especially, I know you guys have a lot of Turkish audience, and Turkey is one of the countries that we would definitely like to build a community on. So, yeah, we're more than happy to be here and chat a little bit.
Right, exciting. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background in this area, geospatial data industry? What does it mean? And like, what are you building? And start from your background, please. Introduce yourself to us, to our listeners, and then we will go on what you're building with NATIX.
Sure. So my name is Alireza, co-founder, CEO at NATIX. I have two other co-founders, Omid and Lawrence. Background, I studied wireless communication. So as far as I remember, I have been building IoT systems. I actually have a PhD in the field. So I was very heavily involved with the R&D side of, communication. And, IoT was the forefront of this. And within IoT, location data is very, very valuable. If you think about it, whatever data that you're generating, it has two other, let's say, tags that make that data very, very important: time and location. When the data was collected, where the data was collected, right? This is how we're kind of living off a lot of services that are using this data and are providing us with such a services. It's more embedded than you can imagine in your lives, right? So when I was doing my R&D work, I was actually working for the autonomous driving industry. We were trying to increase the location accuracy of, let's say, GPS or cars up to 25 centimeter, because that's what you need for autonomous driving, so that the cars can even change lane and they know, where they are relative to one another. And part of that was also to creating real-time maps. We call it dynamic maps. Actually, the term actually was coined, if I'm not wrong, in the autonomous driving industry. Then I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, one of the big fours. I was doing technology consulting them. I was actually leading their whole IoT Europe and co-leading their blockchain. I met my co-founders actually through that, and we started making NATIX. I mean, we quit our jobs and we all agreed, as buzzwordy as it sounds, we all agreed that the future is a combination in some sort, AI, blockchain, and IoT, right? This was a bet that we made almost like 5 years ago. And right now you see a little bit of hype around it. So I wouldn't say we got lucky. I would rather say we kind of, our expectation, kind of our estimate came true. A few words about NATIX. So we started NATIX. Officially, we registered the company 3 years ago. The product that we started to build was a privacy enforcing computer vision AI. Computer vision AI is basically the AI that analyzes the videos and pictures and so on. And we started thinking, okay, how can we assure the privacy of the people? Because camera is a very powerful sensor, right? First of all, we have a lot of them, especially CCTV cameras on every public and commercial properties. We have actually 1 billion of them, to be precise, right? Just CCTV cameras. And when you combine it with AI, it turns into a super sensor. It can detect cars, humans, pedestrians, bicycles, pretty much all of these objects, and even complex things like traffic congestion or available parking spot. So we started realizing camera is a powerful sensor. What are the bottlenecks stopping camera from being used widely? And we were living in Europe, Germany, which is one of the strictest data privacy regulations, Europe in general and Germany as well. So we said, okay, how can we ensure the highest grade of privacy? So we built this technology that does that actually. We have a patent on it, a pending patent actually. And we have clients, we created revenue, we raised money, we grew the team. And then we started realizing a little bit more, that this is probably not it. And we did the pivot to NATIX Network. But I let you guys, if you have any question regarding the NATIX, the kind of the mother company and the technology, before we jump into NATIX Network, this crowdsourced camera network.
Yeah, that was a great story, Alireza. Thanks for that. The privilege of having you here is that actually like listen stories from you that are not Googleable or cannot be found there, right? So that's why I'll ask some stories that are really unique to this podcast. One of them is that like actually how did you said like you came across with friends and founded NATIX, but my question has two parts. First one is how did you come up with the idea of the NATIX network, where it came from? You I don't know, there's a serendipity happened and then you came up with the idea all of a sudden, or something happened there. And the second point is that now that you mentioned the pivot you made, I think it's good to also cover that story. What changed your inspirational initial story, and to after you get the data, the reality, how it evolved and became the product it is today?
Sure. So let me start quickly telling you how we came up with the idea of NATIX itself, this privacy enforcing computer vision. And I'm going to throw one term in there, which is edge computing, which is very important, right? So we realized that, IoT, AI, and blockchain, they're going to, hopefully one day be fundamental technologies. And when you combine few of these very important technologies, that's where I believe, and many other people, very good things will happen, adoptable things will happen, scalable things will happen, right? So originally we started brainstorming in from our own experience. We realized AI, when you want to run AI at scale, you cannot rely on cloud infrastructure because, sensors are generating a lot of data. Let's say cameras, for example, right? You send all of this data through internet to a data center of Amazon or Microsoft and whatnot. It's going to clog the internet pipeline. It has personal information. And let's say in terms of camera, you have faces and number plates inside this data. So it's not sustainable. It's the cost issue, privacy issue, sustainability issue. And there was a new term called edge computing. Edge computing means basically bringing the computational storage and analytical capabilities of cloud nearby where the data is collected, in our case, camera, right? So we were playing around with edge computing. We were actually doing some projects there, and it was a hot topic in those times. And we started realizing, okay, edge computing is definitely going to be the future. So AI coming to the device rather than the device's data going to where the AI is, right? And we started looking into this, and we created the first idea that actually we created before NATIX was a decentralized edge computing platform. Imagine that you have a lot of these little devices like computers, your refrigerator, your mobile phone, your whatever that has computational capability. You pull them and you try to share computational power. Kind of like what Akash is doing, but more in terms of edge devices. They're more doing, let's say, shared cloud. We were doing shared edge devices. Anyway, a long story short, we created a whole white paper and then the market went down. It was like 2019, 2020. It almost crashed, and we wanted to do fundraising for our startup. And then the first investor actually really liked the idea. It was like, guys, this is too ambitious. If you want to raise money in this market, you need to tone it down. So we said, okay, how can we niche it down? And the niching down was, okay, what is the AI? Instead of being generic AI, what is the AI that we can take? We said, okay, the one that has the most sensitivity when it comes to size of data and privacy is images. So computer vision AI is videos. And computer vision AI is very, very interesting there. And the sensor we're talking about is camera, because those are the ones that generating that. And we started, that's how the idea evolved. And that's how we build NATIX. So we first solved this privacy issue. We created this AI technology that can run on little cameras, basically, locally. And then I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but we iterated on that, and we created this, the best state-of-the-art privacy compliant technology, right? In terms of AI or computer vision AI. Now, what happened to come to NATIX Network? Because we had customers that were using this technology. We realized that it's not scalable to work with CCTV cameras. There was a couple of realizations. We said, okay, we have built this very powerful technology. We have a patent on it. Let's dream bigger. I mean, founders always love to dream big, right? Why not? We said, why not just putting it on any camera out there? And we realized that our customers, when we tell them, okay, let's scale the project, let's go from 20 cameras that we did the pilot together to 500 cameras, immediately the cost of these cameras is going to be a problem, right? Not sure if you guys are aware, CCTV camera is not a cheap sensor. It is cheaper than many other sensors, but at scale is not cheap. It's around a few $1,000s if you're talking some scenarios, $6,000-7,000 to build and deploy a CCTV camera. You need cabling for it. You need to install the camera. You need to put the little edge device, the computational power there, right? So you want to deploy 5,000 cameras across the city. That's going to be some investment, right, for the cities and for a mobility company to do. That's how we said, okay, looking at what we have done in our experience, why shouldn't we create a tokenized infrastructure, a shared economy in that sense, right? We have 1 billion CCTV cameras, but total we have 45 billion cameras in terms of your mobile phone devices, drone cameras, car cameras. Why don't we just enable these devices to generate the data? And if I am a city or a mobility company that is interested in this data, I don't have to go and do my own infrastructure. I can just crowdsource it. I can just ask somebody else that has a camera at the right place at the right time and say, hey, can you collect this valuable information for me? And connecting it to location-based data, this was our product from day one, even with CCTV cameras. The end thing that the user was seeing was a map. And for example, going into use cases, they were seeing on a map where are the locations of the free parking spots that the camera is understanding across a large street or whatnot. They were seeing on a map the movement of the crowd in the form of a heat map, right? So everything was timed with location and time. And the end product was anyway this real-time map that was always updating because of the camera. So that's why we started pivoting into NATIX, and we created a whole token economy behind it. And we said, okay, let's combine our AI technology with 45 billion cameras. Let's create the largest crowdsourced camera infrastructure ever without owning a single camera. And the mission of this camera is to create a real-time version, digital twin of our world, basically, to enable a wide range of use cases, mobility related, safety and security related, smart city related, and so on.
All right, like all of what you're saying sounds really smart. And I like when we do some research on what you're building, and when I read your white paper, I came across that the geospatial analytics market is growing and expected to grow over $250 billion by 2028. And there is a growing market, right? So, and you have a process kind of works like Uber. Like they don't have any cars, but they have a like largest taxi network in the world, right? I'm trying to make it like a little bit easier to understand what you are doing. So, like, talk about how the process works, right? Why do we need this in like this geospatial area? And like, you can talk about also the incentives for camera owners as your users and to participate in the NATIX network and how they can earn crypto by contributing to this real-time data.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, the market is growing, but let's talk about some like use cases, what you can do, right? So when I say we create a dynamic map of our world, it means because we have static map, which is just the roads and where the infrastructure is placed, the very basic infrastructure, basically roads and trees and buildings and so on. And then we have dynamic layer on top of the map, right? I think for everybody, they can understand Google has a dynamic layer, which is a traffic layer. You can see where it's red, where it's green, you can see where you might run into traffic and so on, right? So that's one type of dynamic information. But other examples of dynamic information, for example, you can say parking spots, right? Or parking analytics. That's another dynamic level of information. You can say if there's a damage on the infrastructure, if there is a pothole, these basically puddles or potholes on the street where the asphalt is broken. If there's a faded road marking, is a pedestrian sign and it's faded. If there's a crack on the surface, these are all dynamic information with different, we call it information decay rate. So pothole is updated. Let's say you have a pothole, it might get fixed a few weeks or a few months later. And then you can go very dynamic, like parking spot. So it's changing it can change every minute, right? or the location of the scooters and buses and trucks and so on. So this is kind of the product that we're creating. And the use cases are, of course, why would people pay for this kind of data? One of the simple ones, again, let's say B2C use cases, navigation and mobility. You're using these kind of platforms, and the data actually comes from somewhere. Nobody, like many people don't know, but Google is sourcing this data, or other map companies, from multiple sources. They try to see how many people are there, how many cars are there. It's not just the GPS of the mobile phone. It's many sources to give you a good, clean end results, right? So it could be navigation, it can be mobility services, like an app that can show you where the parking spots, right? Or it can be smart city applications, like the city wants to know where do they have traffic signs, how many traffic signs they have, if there's a traffic light that is broken, if there's a traffic sign that goes missing. Some people might just take the parking spot sign and just break it, so it was there and it's not there anymore, right? So this is where the kind of the applications are kind of coming from. So you can support a lot of mobility navigation application as well as the smart city applications. And on the other side of the spectrum, so this is from the demand side of the data. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the supply side of the data, right? So for us, it's cameras. And I would actually love to dig into one of our first product, which is a mobile app. So anybody can just use it, because people might ask me, how can I become a contributor in NATIX's network? How can I make money, right? And we made it as easy as possible, because we said, what is the camera that anybody has? I mean, what is the one camera that me, you, Dog, and Furkan, I'm 100% sure we all have? It's a mobile phone, right? It's a smartphone camera, right? And we said, okay, let's tap into this guy. Why not? Because it's very easily onboardable into NATIX Network. Unlike me selling you a hardware for a few $100, where I need to make it, you need to pay for it, I need to make it, ship it to you, all that issues. If I want to tap into your mobile phone through an application, I can onboard you within the matter of minutes. It's just me convincing you that there's something in it for you, right? You get some sort of a perks or benefits or utility out of it, right? So from the supply side, we were talking about cameras. They are running our AI technology to collect these kind of data, extract these kind of data, like potholes, like traffic congestions, like where the different traffic participants, like cars, bicycles, pedestrians, and so on are. And they get rewarded for this, basically. Because on the other side, you have people that are interested in this type of data. And as soon as, let's say, somebody generates a pothole, when a city buys it, they pay money, and it goes to the guy with a camera that has generated this pothole with his camera and our AI technology.
What I hear from your product is that it has many layers. So it has a geospatial analytics and engineering point. It has AI point. There is also, you mentioned that there is a tokenization as an incentive program, which I understood by it that it has blockchain technology behind it to tokenize it, right? So how NATIX Network actually utilize blockchain technology? Is it only for tokenization, or is it also other aspects that we don't see from the initial look?
No, it's not just tokenizations. If you look into our white paper, we are also looking into ways to validate the data. Because when this data is collected, we need to make sure that the data is right and is proper and is clean. Because when people trust our platform on the demand side, let's say a mobility company wants to get the data, it cannot be a fake data with a fake location or things like that, right? So there are a lot of these proofs that we have looked into, like proof of computation, proof of live stream. I give you one example, actually, just to tell you what kind of cheats people can do. If you're having a mobile phone app, what makes people not just sit at home and point their mobile phone camera at a YouTube video of a car driving and just saying that, hey, I detected a bunch of cars and pedestrians and so on, right? So, but he's sitting at home doing nothing, right? So you need proof of location. You need to make sure this guy is not cheating about his location. He's actually where he is. You need proof of live stream. You need to know that there is actually a camera with a real live stream, not just some fake YouTube video that is being there, right? Then when it comes to these proofs, these validations, where certain nodes do these things, we're looking into how we can have these on-chain as well. So we're talking with a lot of L1s at the moment, and we're seeing like some of them have toolkits for us to do this very easily. Some of them, it's a little bit harder. We need to kind of build our own kind of layer on top of the L1s to be able to do this. But it's more than just a token that the ownership of it gets transferred over blockchain.
Yeah, I see. There are a lot of aspects, like it brings security, it verifies the data, and truly maybe will help the network to be decentralized in a way that it wouldn't be otherwise, right?
Exactly.
Right. So we covered blockchain in your project, and you utilize blockchain technology to verify the entries and data. So let's take us to the AI part, right? AI in hardware. With AI, there is like privacy concerns over what kind of data we share and how do they store it. And like with this technology, what I understand is it is privacy compliant. And one question is like, how do you do that? And how do you think you can apply this AI technology into various hardware devices beyond cameras?
So let's talk about why our AI or our architecture, let's say, as well as our AI, is privacy compliant. First of all, what some projects do is you have a camera, let's say, Web 2, Web 3 project, doesn't matter. This we're going to AI side, right? So what they do is that they collect your pictures and your videos, and they send this picture and video to some processing unit. Worst case scenario in a cloud, the data center thousands of kilometers away. Let's say you collect the data in Istanbul and the data center is in Amsterdam. So you send the photo and the picture in the data center. The AI looks at the image. It extracts useful information. How many people are there? How many cars are there? And so on. And sometimes if they want to keep the image, they say, oh, okay, let us make some privacy enforcement and we remove dogs and alleys and forecast faces from these pictures, right? That's a big no-no. I wrote a Twitter thread about this and how privacy is important, and this is not privacy compliant. I've seen this in Web3 projects also coming. It's absolutely not privacy compliant. They're first collecting your personal information, and then they're saying, oh, okay, we'll remove it, right? This is not being privacy enforcing. Privacy enforcing, if from the source of whatever my architecture is, I stop collecting your personal information. I take useful information, but not collecting your personal information. So what we did was that we optimize our AI so much that it can run on minimal computationally powered devices, right? Edge devices, we call them. So for example, your mobile phone, right? Our AI is so much optimized that it can run on your mobile phone and it only extracts useful information. We're not recording any pictures or videos. The AI will look at the image on your phone in real time and says, hey, I saw 3 people, 1 pothole, 5 cars with these kind of metadata around them. So the pothole was here, the cars were here, and so on, and creates a JSON file from that. It's a binary file. It says car equal 2 with certain metadata, pothole equal 1, and only that data leaves your mobile phone. So we are converting an image to a useful, we call it metadata, which is a JSON file, doesn't have any personal information, right? And only that thing leaves your device. So it's privacy compliant. Second thing, it's very friendly towards your data plan. If you want to send with whatever IoT device, also your mobile phone, videos and images, stream it, it will finish up your data plan in no time. So we're privacy compliant. We're also saving your data bandwidth. On top of that, which I will just quickly cover it, we have a patent which basically goes all the way down to the sensor level, to the camera level, tweaks certain parameters so that personal information like faces and number plates of the cars, it's being generated in a way distorted, in a way kind of anonymized. So we are kind of trying to even remove this privacy from the sensor, from the source of where the data is generated, and minimizing the surface area for the attack that can ever happen to steal people's personal data.
All right, sounds nice. Like you said before our call, people call this as Helium for smart cameras. Like, walk us through how the process works and how the app works. Like, what do I do when I download the app? How do I earn crypto?
Yeah, sure. So why do people call us Helium for smart cameras? Because Helium is creating a connectivity infrastructure. We are creating a camera infrastructure. And the model is kind of similar to Helium. Helium was one of the first projects that tokenized, let's say, physical infrastructure. There's a new name for it these days. They call it TPIN or DePIN. Helium was one of the first guys that tokenized the physical infrastructure. And we are just creating a different physical infrastructure, camera in this sense, right? They were connectivity. Now, you ask me, how does the app works and how can people earn money? We realize that, there's some models out there to create hardware. One of them is selling you hardware. Well, you have to buy the hardware. It's more beneficial for the company who is selling you hardware because they have margins on it, 20, 30, 40, 50%, sometimes margin on these hardware. And our goal is to create network the fastest way possible. So we said, what's the camera that is in everyone's household and pocket at the end of the day? It's a mobile phone camera, right? And more of these mobile phone cameras are becoming equipped with very powerful computational chipsets, AI chipsets that can run AI very, very efficiently, right? To be precise, we have 1.5 billion smartphones that have AI accelerated chips that can run our AI very, very efficiently. So we started thinking of an app where anybody can just download and become part of NATIX Network. So what is this app? It's called Drive And for a reason, because and stands for you can do many, many other things: drive and earn, drive and navigate, drive and make your city a better place. The idea of this app is to provide you more than just an earning potential, right? So the app provides you navigation, dashcam service. You can record the last 60 seconds or 2 minutes of your trip in case you get into an accident, speed trap alerts. And on the side, the AI is using your camera to scan the road, map the world, detect certain useful information like potholes and bicycles and pedestrians and so on, the number of them, and you earn reward for doing that. So is as easy as you just downloading the app. You have to put your phone on the dashboard of your car. As you are driving around, the phone is mapping the world and you earn for that, right? Now, the earning process is, we took it a little bit different than, let's say, companies like, Helium or DePIN, which is a move to earn kind of narrative. You earn points in our app. It's not a cryptocurrency, it's a point system. And you can convert these points into NTXT, which is our token, not listed yet, by the way. There are some fake listings, so please be careful. We don't have our token listed. So you can convert these points into NTXT, but also other goods and services like electronics, like AirPods or Oculus or a coffee machine or a voucher that you can get, some clothes or from Amazon or things that are similar, or even donate to a charity of your choice. Why did we do that? We made it for a reason, because we have 1.5 billion drivers that we're targeting with this, right? It's a more drive to earn narrative. It brings utility to the drivers, driver assistance services to the drivers. Many of the drivers that are out there, they're not crypto native. If you just reward them with crypto, you have the chance to scare them off, right? So we decided to do this deliberately to be able to onboard those non-Web3 native, non-crypto native people into our app, let them drive, and slowly start educating them about what crypto is, right? And we have some successful business models. I would say one of the models that I have seen that have worked in a similar way is a Sweatcoin. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're basically a competitor of DePIN. And instead of just directly rewarding you with crypto, you get points and you also get their token, but you also get a lot of other utilities, vouchers and things like that within their app, right? And they have 140 million users. Right. So to build a network that is that large and that scattered, I think we need to be a little bit more creative than just giving people crypto to be able to onboard the next 100 million users into crypto.
Yeah, I love the hardware aspect of your innovation because it also relates it to one of the hot topics in Web3 space right now, which is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, DePINs. So would you classify NATIX as part of this initiative trend that's going on as part of its DePIN? How would you make the connections with this trend to your end product? And what are your contributions to this initiative basically?
Definitely, we are a DePIN project or a TPIN project because we're also building a physical infrastructure, camera infrastructure in a tokenized manner. I think this is my vision for this, let's say, topic, is that mobile smartphone enabled DePINs are going to fly much faster. The original thing was that DePIN is very attractive because you can build these physical infrastructures 10 to 100 times faster, right? Because people feel the sooner they join the network, they have part of this economy, they earn tokens, and then therefore, it's a very attractive thing. So they go, they buy these hardwares, or they want to join the network and contribute. So it's very easy to create the supply side. And we believe that with Drive And with this mobile first approach, that is our first product that we're launching before we go towards CCTV cameras and drone cameras and so on. This will enable us to have an even faster scaling. My personal hypothesis, to be validated, is 10 to 100 times faster. And I have seen some other projects that are, let's say, DePIN, smartphone DePIN, and they have right now 5 million devices within their networks. I mean, I'm not sure what the latest number of Helium is, but it's the latest one that I had was around 1 million. And right now, these guys are even younger than Helium, and they have 5 million devices in their network. Yet again, smartphone only is not making sense for every company and every project. So for Helium scenario, didn't make sense. They really needed to sell you that hardware. But for many of our competitors I've seen as well, it does make sense to go smartphone first, because it just provides you with whatever sensor or computational capability that you need to provide the same infrastructure. So yeah, we're definitely a DePIN, to answer your question.
Nice. You're playing in an area that's really exciting to play around, and lots of innovations are coming up, which brings me to the point, like, I want to discuss a little bit with you your future plans on this, because we understand the current landscape really well, the app you are coming up with, and in your future plans you mentioned that you have some token plans, NFTs launch, etc. Can you tell us more about these future plans? What are the release dates, for example, these tokens, NFTs, and other innovations that you are planning ahead?
Definitely. So from product development point of view, the Drive and mobile app is one of our first releases, first products that we are releasing as part of NATIX Network. This is going to come out in a few weeks, very soon. So I actually invite your audience to follow us on social media, join our channels, because we update them with the latest news. And please register in our waitlist as well. You earn points for that, and you're gonna be onboarded into the first, the newest things about this product. Later on, we of course want to expand that and go to other camera devices as well. That includes CCTV cameras, that includes drone cameras, that includes also car cameras, to work with OEM and car manufacturers, basically, to bring their devices on board as well, right? So that's kind of the vision that we're having. Now, regarding the token side, we have a utility token, NTXT. We also have an NFT, which we didn't really talk about it. And for both of these tokens, the plan is to launch them hopefully towards end of the year, beginning of the next year. Timelines can change. As you know, the market is quite volatile still. Things happen right and left. As we were talking, I think that the recent SVB story happened,
yeah.
and it's yeah. We have the best interest of the project and of our community, so we're taking our time. And meanwhile, that doesn't mean we're not working. So we're building a strong business meanwhile, and I think the strong business is the foundation for a strong token, apart from speculation aspect of it, right? So that's what we're focused on right now. But if everything works out well, towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, we're planning to go live with these two tokens. And we'd love to talk about NFTs, though, if we have still some time.
Sure. Let's go. We can talk about NFTs. We love NFTs. NFTs are our
Who
gig.
doesn't?
Yeah, I lost some money on NFTs, but I still love them. So I hang on my walls. Who cares? Like, I'm a collector. Talk about your NFTs. Do you have utilities or like fancy arts? Yeah, like this is fun topic.
Yeah. I think our NFT is one of the first NFTs with real utility. So let me tell you the story of the NFT. This map of the world that we're creating, we're cutting it into pieces. We call it tiles, right? And every tile has a unique NFT. People who know projects like What Three Words, is a similar concept to that, right? So we're cutting the whole globe, the map, into tiles, and every tile has a unique NFT. Now, you as our community member, you can buy these NFTs and it will generate you passive income. How? If a mobile phone camera is running, let's say you have right now 10 tiles downtown Istanbul or Berlin or whatnot, right? And a car passes by, he had the mobile phone on, and he detects 2 potholes, right? He sells those 2 potholes to the maintenance department that is going fixing these, each for $5, $10, right? So you earn a portion of this transaction, percentage of this transaction as the NFT holder, because this pothole was generated on your piece of land. It's kind of your data in a way, or you also have part of the, let's say, revenue sharing of this data. Now, what's the catch? Why are we giving suddenly some guys that are holding NFT part of the profit? Why not giving 100% of it to the camera owner? The catch is that the money that you put in to mint the NFT, as well as a royalty fee on the transaction of these NFTs, if I sell that NFT to you, this will all go to an incentivization pool that will be used to incentivize the people locally on your neighborhood to collect data, to develop your piece of land in terms of data, right? Let's take an example of Helium. If I want to invest in Helium New York, because that's where Helium is strong, or that's where I believe Helium's network is going to go large. As of today, I believe I don't have the chance to, unless I buy a hotspot in New York and I put it, right? But as a passive investor, if I just buy the tokens, that's a kind of a global as the company, right? We wanted to enable people to invest in certain areas locally, and that money to be used to develop that area locally. Because believe it or not, DePIN has this a strong factor of local, momentum and local demand, right? Usually that's the case with a lot of DePINs that have to do with sensors or connectivity and so on, right? So this was kind of a way that we designed for people to become investors of this network, but their investment being used locally, and they benefit from that investment also locally from whatever data that was generated. So that's kind of one of the niches of our project. I haven't really seen it anywhere else, really, in the way that we have done it, that it generates, that you buy that NFT and basically you kind of are entitled to the future of the data that is being, we call it dynamic NFTs. It's a topic actually right now these days, and it comes with real utility, which is future of data. And philosophically, I have a lot of thoughts on that, because if you think about it, a lot of finance is the future of money, right? Credits is the future of money. So for us to kind of tie this to future of data, I think that is something very powerful, because data is the new gold, right? And so why can't you do the DeFi things that you do with money, kind of be inspired by those, and kind of do the same thing with data? And this was our attempt to do it. So I'm quite excited about both this island NFT and the application that we're releasing very soon.
Yeah, I think like dynamic NFTs are quite exciting because it should somehow differentiate itself from traditional art as well, because it's a digital world, it's always changing. Your NFT should be also able to adapt to that. I love that about it. So there are lots of topics we talked about and we are getting almost to the end. And those people who listened this far, they deserve something. We are planning a giveaway with NATIX, so you can find the details in the description below. I think they made it this far, so they deserved it, right? Saying that, also we want to, like, before closing, hear a little bit of suggestions from you, because normally in the show we ask for books to read, but we talked about so many exciting topics like DePIN, physical infrastructures, geospatial analytics, etc. Lots of exciting topics. We are not limiting with your books. Can you just recommend some resources that our listeners can learn more about these topics and discover a bit more?
Definitely. I would say Masari had started a report about this field. It's quite conclusive. NATIX is not there yet, but we're also, I would say, new kids around the block. They know about us, but we're not yet in the report. I think that's a starting point. CoinMarketCap wrote, so if you search for DePIN, DEPIN, and CoinMarketCap, you're going to see a quite nice report, well explained, with the challenges that also, DePIN is not all utopia, right? There are also challenges to build a proper DePIN project. So these are kind of interesting material that they can read. But I would also like to invite people to read a book, if you allow me. I would say one of the books that gave me the best understanding of money and therefore crypto and a lot of things that come with that was Sapiens.
Sapiens.
Yeah.
Homo sapiens.
Sapiens. Homo sapiens, exactly.
It's from Yuval Noah Harari, right?
Correct. One of my favorite authors.
Really?
Amazing book.
No?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like?
He's kind of pessimist, like to my taste. It's like a little bit pessimist to my taste, but yeah. Okay, I know the book, yeah.
But pessimistic, I would say, is about or optimistic is about the future, right? His analysis of the past was the most interesting to me, where he sees like how humankind has evolved and what is the definition of religion and things that all common humans believe on. And money is the most commonly used religion worldwide, in a sense. Like, it's not really a religion as we know, like Hinduism or Islam or Christianity, but it's in a way one of the most powerful religions that pretty much anyone in this world believes in, and it's yet an imaginary thing that people cannot really show to each other, but they talk about it. When I say imaginary, I mean like there are no like physical signs of it all the place, but people agree on it that it exists, and yeah, it's a super interesting thing, and I think once you get that foundation, then it's really easy to understand crypto, understand a lot, and build on top of that, let's say. So that's one of the most interesting books that I have had recently.
I love that. So you're saying learn about the history, learn about like how the money evolved, and this book Sapiens is a great resource for that. Right, nice. So we covered a lot today. Like, tell us about how can our listeners learn more and get involved with NATIX Networks platform. And lastly, like if you have a short takeaway message for this call to our listeners, we would appreciate that.
Yeah, I would say if you want to learn more about NATIX Network, go to our website www.natix.network. This is the projects, the NATIX Networks projects website. We also have something for the main company that holds the technology, let's say, and is developing NATIX Network at the end of the day. But for NATIX Network, go to this website and follow us on social media. And I would like to invite everybody to go and register, become a member of our waitlist. So if you go on the website, you can see the drive hand on the navigation bar. Please go there, register in the waitlist. You earn points. We have a lot of more good news and let's say giveaways and so on, challenges. We are building this thing together with our community, so we take it very, very seriously. And you get good perks as soon as we launch the app. So I'm not going to disclose this because it's still finalizing. But don't forget to do that. And as soon as the app is out, you guys can start using it and drive around and earn and get more even from the app. As I said, I think the first version of the app is coming out with the dashcam service, but we're also going to add additional services like navigation and so on very soon to the app with the next releases.
Drive to earn. What an exciting topic. Like X to earn with crypto and decentralized platforms. Like we see this a lot with projects, and I think we will see and we will cover more stories like this in our network, Decentralized Future. So thank you for listening. We will see you on to the next one. We have the giveaway. So with NATIX and Decentralized Future. For the giveaway information, check out the description. You will see our simple steps and you will earn credits or points using NATIX Network. And I think it's good. We're trying. Thank you for listening and thank you for your time, Alireza. We will see you on to the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks everyone for listening to our show. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. See you next week.